Hello everybody and welcome to War Talk number 10. It's been 10 episodes now so far and Classypax always looks the same at the beginning of every single one of them. We're gonna have to do like, the only thing that I think changes is your hair. Like if they do like a still picture of every episode, you'll see it grow. I'm pretty sure that
watch his development.
Yeah, and Adam is the opposite. He cut his hair halfway through, so he just went balder. And well, I just the same.
You just stay the same.
I just stay the same always. Maybe more shiny sometimes, less so other times. And talking about Adam, he's not here today, guys. He's visiting his sister. Yes, he has a sister. Nobody knew, but he has one.
Nobody at all.
Nobody at all. Not even him. He was like, "Shit, I have a sister. I gotta go visit her."
I better go visit them.
Yeah. So he's gonna be back. He's gonna be gone for 2 weeks. This is like the first one, I guess. I don't know exactly when he gets back. Who gives a shit? But he'll be back. We have a pony instead from War Thunder.
I think that's a suitable
down there. Yep. I had to find something that looked good, if not better, more than average, and so the pony is really good. Which might actually even, heck, that might have actually even connect a little bit to today's topic. We have Classypax as always, as I mentioned. Today's guest is WeBe. Is that how we say it? Is it?
Yes.
Oh,
it's fine. It's easier to pronounce now. It's not as complicated.
Oh yeah, I remember your former nickname. Just like Classypax, he had also a very difficult nickname before that one. I remember WeBe, you had, yeah, shit, no, it was difficult. It was something with numbers and shit.
Yeah. It's actually, I think, hang on, I'll type in chat.
Oh, you know it's still
that one. Yeah, there we go. It's in chat.
Oh yeah, you're still that on Twitch. WBE886, formerly known as, yeah. And yeah, I think you did a really good job with the rebranding there. WeBe
sure.
is
easier to say.
Yeah.
So.
Nothing like a good old rebrand to get the gears going.
Rebranding.
I
said, shot a good show, chap.
And like, hey, where can I find you? Oh, it's youtube.com/ get your pen and paper out, WBE.
You say that, I can change my URL.
Oh.
So it's still that.
Oh shit. Well, you just get a WeBe.com and redirect.
Yeah.
There you go. It's problem solved. Anyway, tell everybody now, WeBe, what is it you do? We mentioned YouTube there. Tell everybody what you do, where they can find you, and yeah, what they can expect.
What do I do? That's a good question, actually. What do I do? I make videos on the internet. That's about it. I'll be honest. I moan a lot as well on Twitter. That works.
Moan on Twitter.
Yes, I moan on Twitter. That is my job. I moan on Twitter. That's my job. Yes,
it's called
I would say.
#angry.
Hashtag moan. I don't know how you get moan through Twitter. It's like, I don't know. Is that a British moan? I don't do British.
Is that a British moan?
British don't moan. They use a little bit of sarcastic wit to get through their day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I've learned that from Jingles.
They'll cut deeper than just a moan. A moan's just a crying kid in the corner. No. They'll get back at you, but you're not too sure if they did or not.
Yeah, you say that. So sometimes I've been questioned if I've been sarcastic or not on Twitter when I'm legitimately being like real. It's like...
Yeah, it's really hard through text. You gotta use those hashtags, like hashtag not sarcastic.
It's why you'll see a load of British people use emoticons, because that's how they tell if you're actually being sarcastic or not. They like show how they're speaking for emoticons.
Because you know how they have. So this is my idea. They have regular font. Then if you like press a button, you have italic, where it slants forward, right?
Oh,
they should make sarcastic font where it goes the opposite version of italic. So whenever you see like that lean back type of slandry type of font, you're like, Sarcasta-font. He must be British.
Sarcasta-font.
He must be British. Oh, I say, what a lovely day.
Look at the weather.
Oh
yes.
God. So then,
nice day.
Patent pending. I'm gonna be a millionaire, boys.
so then it is, guys. If you want to find WeBe, go to youtube.com/WBE886.
Would you rather me just give you a link? It'll be so much easier.
People. There will be a link soon. I'm pretty sure we'll have links in chat soon. I think what's his name? Wicked Mouse is usually very good at sorting that out.
I will attempt to find it.
But okay, so if they go there, I mean, you make videos on the internet. What type of videos?
Well, that's another good question, because initially it was War Thunder. Not so much anymore. War Thunder's kind of taken a step back. I know, how can I say? But yeah, I'm just basically a variety gaming channel now. Just upload anything that's entertaining, really.
Your typicals, just 900 series of Minecraft or something, right?
Oh god, no. That was the old 2 year ago me. Never again. That was awful. That was horrible. But
let's build a house.
It's like if you do Minecraft, it will
I had
like
tons.
if you do Minecraft on YouTube, it's equal sell out, sell out, sell out. You fucking sell out like you're doing like everybody else. Sell out.
PewDiePie clone, PewDiePie clone, PewDiePie clone.
Yeah, yeah, it's basically. Hey, you even started one of your videos with that.
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
yes,
you might get sued. If he sees
it's fine. I don't think he would ever see it.
I actually saw that.
I don't think anybody cares.
No, I don't think anybody cares either. Sell out.
No.
I'm a sellout.
Alright, but you still follow War Thunder because you're here.
Yeah, of course I do.
I
still play it every so often. In my pastime, I just upload as much content on it, so to speak.
No, definitely. I mean, I
do upload.
I was gonna say you still do War Thunder content because I saw some not long ago.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of my War Thunder videos basically gets shared by Jingles because he just can't help himself.
Oh, good thing we're gonna talk about Jingles today as well.
Oh yay!
Yeah, that's off the break, guys. Jingles watch. Stay tuned. It's awesome, always. All right. So where do you want to begin with this one today, guys? We're gonna talk about content creation. It means anything between YouTube. It's not in there, but content creation also involves. Heck, I'll fucking throw that in there. It obviously involves streaming as well. Podcast, this thing. Replay systems, live War Thunder, screenshots, content. Like, there's a lot of things under content creation. And if time allows it, we'll be also touching on the cockpits. Because, I know Pax loves those cockpits. Anyway. Where do you want to go, Pax, from this?
Well, I think, changing subject probably is a better idea.
No, basically content creation. Not so much about hey, check out my channel type of thing like that, but more like what has Gaijin done for the content creators to work with them, not just for personal gains, but also kind of like an amalgamation type of gain to it. So we're talking about the replay system, for example, is a good thing to talk about, like what they've done with it. Obviously, a few patches ago, they completely changed it, so they try to make it more intuitive. We lost a couple key features with it, like we lost the chase camera, which is I miss it dearly. But we also gained like a quick intuitive system where you can switch between different players that are in your draw proximity. You can't switch everybody at all times because now the system only gathers the people which are within your 10-kilometer radius or whatever it may be. Then you can switch them easily and effectively. Remove HUD. There's now also like the button, for example, to restart the replay. There is no rewind yet. I really hope they figure that one out one day.
Rewind is such a. I mean, yeah. Hey, go on. Well,
definitely. No, like So like that's just some of the tidbits in the replay system. Also want to talk about Live War Thunder. Not just skins, which are awesome, mind you. Some of the skins being made these days are just. There's this weird escalation thing going on. I mean, like Gaijin does not need an 8K Focke-Wulf cockpit or a Focke-Wulf. They still do it.
Hey, 8K.
People like how far can we?
I don't run anything less than 8K, honestly, on my 20. What is it? This is 24-inch monitor. Like, if I can't have an 8K,
I have a 28-inch 4K monitor.
Yeah. So, but 8K.
Why do I? But nonetheless, the fact that you can do that, I mean, it is upscaled and stuff like that, right? But the fact that you can do it, and if you follow a certain parameter guidelines, that your skin, that individual skin, can be in game for a small monetizational charge of like $1, $2.
I think
and
so.
The content creator gets a portion of that as well for just making a skin, which lots of people do. Some people just enjoy doing it. Some people have an incentive to try to get it in game, and you get all of a sudden this just money slowly but surely flows in. And then along with that, with livewarthunder.com, which is it's a great website for dropping stuff there, but it's also a shitty website because it feels a lot like Pinterest, but even less intuitive, of where you don't know how to find what you want.
The search is horrible.
The search is like hashtag.
it's
I tried to find a J7 skin, like a J7W, the Japanese like push prop, right? I was trying to find a skin for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
at
was
least,
like,
at least for
J7,
at least for
hashtag 7,
camouflages.
hashtag Japan. I couldn't find it. It was just
I mean,
lame.
at least for camouflages, when you upload it, shouldn't they just have a drop-down list? Which airplane is this for? Right?
Well, obviously they should.
like,
But that requires coding.
and general thought, like, I have an idea here. We
sense.
should be able to select which airplane we make this camouflage for. Mind blown. I don't know.
The thing is that if you are on livewarthunder.com, you sign in with your War Thunder account, what you should do, because they haven't done it, is that if you find something you like, subscribe to that guy. So that way you will always see his future content, because if you know that he's going to make stuff that you particularly like I have like a guy who's he's one of the moderators on Reddit. His name is Spagooter. He's the one who made a 4K Focke-Wulf cockpit with the mixed mode map inside of the cockpit as well, for reference for planes, because when you look at the map as a tank, the grids are different than when you look at them as a plane. So he put the tank grids inside the plane, so that you could tell, or he made larger grids that are for a quick reference to where the certain tank is in the map. It's so awesome. I subscribe to him, obviously, and he makes he makes new props, lots of high resolution skins. And then just before we were starting here, I mean, WeBe showed me this other guy, which I'm going to link in chat, because obviously this is, anyone who's interested in cockpits should follow this guy. His name is Elmer. He's been working on this incredible.
It's scary. This is
absolutely
It's
incredible
ridiculous
B-17
how one person can do that, It's
with a lot of time
wow.
and a lot of passion.
But this is when you think like, hey, Gaijin, when are you gonna employ this guy? Like, when are you actually gonna go like, hey, we know you can't move to Russia, but how about you just work from where you are and help us, create this stuff, right?
I don't know if Gaijin does a lot of third-party company hiring or like that.
You say that,
I don't
but it's
know if they
quite a good
do.
idea, because if you think about it, at least it's actually quite cost-effective for them, because it's kind of that way people were doing your
You
job
could hire
for
them
you.
to pay. You could hire them to. I mean, I don't know what you call it in English, but technically, I guess you pay them for what they do.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
you could
But
even
obviously,
have it.
you're gonna need like a basic a quality a QA session of where you're gonna talk about. You submit your content, but it has to pass guidelines, obviously, because it needs to
Yeah.
amalgamate with everything else in game, right? I mean, and then who sets the parameters for it too? Like,
But they obviously
'cause
have
everything
somebody in house right now that
Yes, they do.
that is the
Yeah.
lead whatever, right, within the group, and he would just be not in the office.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought of a really cool idea there, because obviously Gaijin's situated in Russia, but what if this, so-called community team would be more of an international developer team? So where they see, maybe they submit their ideas on the forums and it gets passed down through to the Russian headquarters, and maybe they could get a little group going of people outside doing it as a hobby, but things to come in game sort of thing,
This is starting to kind of sound like almost like Tripwire Interactive with Rising Storm a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of where it was like basically it was a mod team working in cahoots with the development of Red Orchestra, and because Tripwire, they were originally a mod team, they were an action studio. They won a competition that it was called the Make Something Unreal contest way back in the day in 2000.
They still run that, I think.
And they
Yes,
still
they
do
do.
it. Not as good as it used to be, unfortunately. But due to Tripwire, they got free licensing to the Unreal Engine back then.
Yeah.
And they did that, published a game, and all of a sudden, boom! Now you got Tripwire Interactive, and now they do the same thing back to other people who make they do map contests and stuff. So if they did like that in a sense of where they kind of just pat the back of the people who are making content for free in their spare time and see what they develop. I mean, obviously, you're going to get crap, a lot of it. People trying to make cool stuff.
You can't get something really good unless that crap comes out.
Unless of course you open the door, let them do that in the first place. Make a place they can hang out. Obviously, it does require guys to do a little bit of financial backing, because you need to talk about things like how to work with their CDK, because CDKs, development kits, when you're working within a company, usually 90% of the time, they don't put a lot of money into it, only enough for their employees to get into it and understand how it works.
Yeah.
It becomes a whole different beast when it leaves the studio, and it has become more intuitive for a multinational community, because now you have to worry about like how to do this, how to do that. There's certain tools that you do not have that they have for building things, generators, compilers, a lot of things that we don't have access to that they do. For obviously, some of them are for really good reasons, because things that are locked down within the game that you can't touch, right? They don't want you touching those parameters. But then, yeah, if they were able to actually, but they have to put a lot of financial backing into the CDK if they want to do something like this, explaining exactly how to do the model systems, how to build one from spec. They've done some in the past, if I recall.
Tutorials, haven't they?
They've done a few couple of tutorials, but they really haven't hit the modeling department so much. Like,
I think what they
tough.
need to do, I think they need to have some sort of a way of basically, all right, cool, we've got a map editor and a CDK. What I think they need to do is they need to come up with some sort of 2 other programs, one for 3D modeling and the second one for flight models. If we can get a flight model one, we can have anything fly. We could have F-18 flying. The possibilities are endless at that point. I
wouldn't mind that one, like, because like that's one of the biggest argumented things about is like flight models and damage models. If you could find some of these guys who are just incredibly passionate about their flight models, people that are sticklers, they could submit like their flight model lists with their parameters.
There you go.
Go on your dev build, try these out, tell me what you think. Like just someone. I mean, obviously there's.
If you have a community that is, able to tweak your stuff until it is like minutely correct, there you go.
It'd be interesting to see if they actually could do something like that. That would be cool. But this is all wish making right now, dreaming
speculation.
Yes. At least back on livewarthunder.com. Like I don't know how much you go there, Scream yourself, but do you go there?
Very, very limited. I usually just go there when people send me links directly to the stuff they want me to look at or such. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the. I like it. I appreciate it. I think it's really cool the potential that it has, that people can make, and I get to see these things that you linked me because people do. They come to the channel. They're like, you gotta see this, and so I obviously see that. So I actually don't browse it much myself in the sake of looking for things. I'm not one to. I personally actually like the thing that I like about this, the skinning and especially the skinning. The fact you can make skins for War Thunder is actually the fact that I don't have to have historically accurate skins. I'm the one who I really I don't want to have anime either. Sorry, those of you who like anime. But I don't get like I don't sit there and go like, oh my god, this historically accurate skin that I've read about, because I'm not that into that, but I'm more like, oh, this looks cool, this looks awesome, this has flames on it, nice, yeah. Like this is purple and black and chrome, like I'm that kind of guy, because again, I play a lot of arcade, even in RB. I'll enjoy seeing my plane looking awesome like that, and it's fun on stream. And then I have some people like, oh my god, like it hurts my eyes, why is it not historically accurate? I'm like, well, because I don't have that preference. But then I guess that's also one of the cases where I guess it's good that skins is only for the user and not for everybody else, because I can see how that would ruin the immersion though, because I would probably find it less intriguing if I went into RB and every plane looked like pink, blue, and whatever, So I'm so happy that they have the original looks. I appreciate when new planes get released. I appreciate all the original accurate paint jobs that planes do have, and if I don't have a skin on a certain plane, I usually do look if there are alternatives in the game and see. I usually find a favorite, like the Spitfire Mark 10. I think the Russian paint job is amazingly cool looking, in my opinion. Such simple things. So when it comes to this whole live.warthunder.com, it's if anything, it's for the skins, in my opinion. Yeah,
most definitely.
That's a big part. so I don't go there, as I said, to browse, but I get stuff off there when people link me. And it's basically, I tried it when they launched it, and it wasn't long after they launched it, I went back and I discovered this search to be pretty, like, I'm gonna try and search P47. Like, yeah. So, alright. It gotta be broken. It doesn't work good for me.
No, it just doesn't work, period.
Apparently there is nothing called P47 under camouflages. Maybe if I remove the dash.
I'm not a big fan of their search engine either. It's nasty, notoriously. And then it like does a weird lockdown. So if you search incorrectly, then you try to search the next thing, and then it won't let you go to the next thing. I don't know if this is browser based, like it does this only on Chrome. You know, like I don't know what's going on, but I can't. And it says, and then this is the funny thing is that when you click it, and it says like search by popular searches. Like, oh, okay, cool, that'll get me somewhere. You click it, nope, nothing found.
Yeah.
It's a popular search to nowhere. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Live War Thunder. Obviously.
But if we're getting to the endpoint of live.warthunder.com, then I want to add something to the whole modding of War Thunder, which is, you know, that I haven't heard or read about it anywhere. Maybe someone else has, but wouldn't it be lovely if they implemented Steamworks?
A Steam Workshop, yeah.
No, not maybe it's called Workshop. Steam Workshops. Oh, yeah, Steam Workshop. Yeah, it's called Workshop. Sorry, I said Steamworks. Well, Steam Workshop. Where
it's hard to do with a free-to-play.
Are you real that? Yeah.
No, with this type of game, it's a bit difficult to do it with, because a lot of it's not. I mean,
honestly, I think it's really easy.
Steam
I don't know what they have to
some
do.
Weird transition
I don't know
right
what
now.
they have to do to get, like, you know, Steam Workshop to work with the game. But if anything, like, because how the modding, at least for when it comes to skins, works, where pretty much you just when a skin just pretty much needs to go into that one right folder, which is simple as frack, right? You know, that seems like a very easy thing to do with Steam Workshop, where if the content producer updates it, it will automatically update for you, because there you subscribe.
If we're talking about if we're talking about skins and custom missions, then Workshop makes sense. No, in my mind, I was going toward like new plane models and stuff like that, and
yeah, that'd be a little bit harder, I think,
because obviously,
sure.
I mean, there's this the way they monetize things. I mean, they're kind of doing things on their own, Gaijin. They're making their own little bubble, and then you try to poke into it, and like, okay, we'll do a little bit.
But Steam Workshop isn't monetizing. Steam Workshop is just for mods.
Well, Workshop actually did have a little bit of that.
They did in Skyrim, and then they removed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So no. Yeah, that's exactly like I don't know.
But that's up to the dev still. Like, that's not up to Valve.
Yeah, true. Yeah. True, absolutely. True.
So I'm just saying that, you know, for ease of use, to help people because I always get the question when we talk about skins on the channel, I always get the question, I still don't know how to put them in or get them to work, and it should be easy. It's easy when you know, but you know, I think you know, getting Steamworks into this game, I think it would be amazing.
If there could maybe be either a loader or a launcher for skins, maybe that could work. You know, if we had some sort of a program.
Oh, you mean like a standalone? Like somebody went out and went like, okay, guys, I'm gonna
so
help
instead
you.
of, you know, having to do that, maybe there could be a third-party program where you just drop the file in and it sorts it all out for you. You know, that could be quite good, I think.
Ah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, their approach with Steam has been a little weird. They got a couple Steam packs, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
everything else is done.
I guess they're happy to be on Steam, as you know, Steam is such a big platform. They get their game out.
I think it was more just getting on Steam, putting down two little things, and just barely touching the service. Like, oh, okay, we put down the deal here, and then everything else is on their website.
Because I do think I checked this not long ago. War Thunder is one of the like, I don't want to throw out a number, but they're one of the biggest game on Steam.
They are, yeah.
They're actually
free to play anyway.
No, in all categories, they are one of the most played games. Like, I'm saying one off, but we might be talking top 50 or 30 or something. Like, I know they're high up. Like, I checked this some time ago. There's a website that lets you check these things, and I was surprised that they were as far up as they are.
Flabbergasted.
Yes. So with that in mind, like, I don't know. Like, it depends on what you want to do with the modding community. It depends on what guide you want to do with it. But I definitely feel that Steam Workshop is a thing that it would just I think it would benefit the modding community as a whole because it's a really
PC
great
primary
platformer.
game. Obviously, they should.
Yeah.
Well, they should, but it doesn't mean they will.
No,
I know.
but but Steam Workshop is just such a great tool for modding community because it's just a good place for people to rate your mod, to comment on it. You can give people news update on it. Like it's a really good platform for modding. That's
and the auto install is a huge plus too. Instead of having to go through your game directory, find the user skins folders or whatever, and if you have like the custom ones where you change things like the gyroscopes, and you have to find somewhere else has to go.
I mean, it could also be quite beneficial because I think Steam's a slightly better one to leave user feedback as well. So like if there's a report or something wrong with a skin, that'd be easier to report it, sort of thing. And
and they if anything, like if we're talking other mods, if that would ever work, right? Then if a patch breaks it, and the mod creator updates it, it's like automatically updates for you too because you subscribe.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to find that page where you could tell how they were doing. But anyway, I guess that's that for live.warthunder.com. I actually forgot to start because we got off such a good start today, but I really want to touch just quickly on what we were talking about. Was this on the previous episode? Am my memory that bad? Was it the previous episode we talked? Yeah, it was. The previous episode, last episode, we talked about how many games you had to play to be allowed to post on the forums.
An update on that, yeah.
Yeah, and they updated on that, and I wanted to touch on that quickly.
Drum roll.
So what they said a week ago was that you had to have 3 battles per week or per month. They quickly changed this to month, but they said 3 battles per week or month to be able to post a post or a thread on the forums. If you didn't do that, you could just read everything, but you couldn't post. And this thread is, this thread is now 51 pages long. So nobody cared, obviously. Sarcasm. Hashtag. Did I do that wrong? Anyway, so they updated this, and now here's what they initially will be setting the limits to, and I think they fixed it a little bit, but it's initially 3 games will credit quotations here credit you with a 7 consecutive day period where you can post. 15 games will credit you with unlimited access for 30 days. The above limitation will reset at the end of the 7 days or the calendar month. In other words, you will have to apply the rules above once again at the end of the periods specified.
It kind of makes no sense, really.
You're just sitting that still, or WeBe, wait, what? Okay,
no,
Pax is
don't
moving.
worry.
Okay. I was scared things crashed on my end, but you're not moving.
Yeah, your webcam,
is it broken?
No, well...
It's just frozen.
You're sitting very still.
Okay, it's fine. As long as you can hear me, it's all good.
All right,
all good.
All right.
All good.
Just try to restart it, if anything. But anyway, yeah, you were saying something.
Was I saying something? What was I saying?
I have no idea what you were saying. But it had to do with this limitation and the...
Oh, okay, yeah, basically, right. So it's 30 days, yeah.
Play 15 games, you have 30 days to post.
Yeah, but it's not unlimited, is it? Because it said... You said that...
Well, I don't know why they put that. Unlimited access for 30 days. What's the difference?
Not, is it? It's not unlimited if it's 30 days.
Well, for 30 days you can post. Yeah, it's a weird word to have in there to begin with. But I think this is kind of where we said that we thought, like, for example, you go on a holiday for 2 weeks and you would be screwed if you were one of those active guys in the forums. But now now at least you can do that. You know, yeah. I don't know. Because last episode the people on the podcast we agreed, I think, on the fact that we thought it was a good idea to have some type of requirement that you actually play the damn game where you go to their official forum to post.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it will filter a lot of spam, like a lot of shitty posts and stuff. Is what it will do.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was just a quick update on that. We can definitely there's not much we need to discuss about this. That is what they have updated. So anybody watching last episode and heard about that now knows what's the latest. And there you started moving again. Great.
Hey.
And literally, it looked like you were sitting still. Like you just unstuck yourself. That looked so weird. Like it was not even. It wasn't like you were looking the other way or anything. You just literally came unstuck.
Before it froze, I should have gone.
Yeah, you should have. Oh, that was so weird. All right, Absolutely. Well, he got unstuck, guys. I don't know what spell was cast, but I feel Average Shadow might have something to do with it.
Magic.
You know, maybe his sister is a witch. Who knows? I'm getting plus points here all over the place from Adam.
So besides Live War Thunder in a nutshell, what else do we have for contribution?
I mean, you touched on replay. We should probably have started with YouTube. Hence, we have a YouTube celebrity.
Oh, jolly good.
Oh, hello. Yeah, is that a thing?
Hello. I said jolly good. Jolly good, ciao.
Let's talk about the replay system, Weeb, shall we?
Replay system. Replay. Okay.
So how happy are you guys with the replay system? I mean, you touched on it. You already talked about it.
I like the older one better. It wasn't as intuitive, but I like the old one better because that one particular thing, the chase camera.
I
hate it. I missed it so much.
Well, I unfortunately I haven't. I touched the replay system way back when I was trying to capture that, you know, fantastic moment. Something fun happened, right? You're like, oh shit, I have to go. And then you're like, and oh shit, there it was. Rewind. Oh god damn it, can I watch this? You know, and that's the only thing I hate about it is that I can't rewind. I haven't touched it in ages, just because it felt really wonky way back.
It's just always been awful, really.
Yeah, you've done a lot of movies, Liam. Like you've done a lot of. You've done some really really amazing, like what do you call that? Machinima type of cinematics. All right, and put on YouTube. I mean, you gotta know everything there is to know about that replay system.
It's annoying as hell because basically the camera does not do what you want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of, well, the original replay system was great for cinematics, but not so much anymore. It's the thing is that I don't understand why they can't have some sort of two different modes, like a cinematic mode and a competitive mode. You know, that you could switch between on the in the replay system. I don't see what the problem is here. You know,
the replay system is basically they use on. It's almost the same thing they use on their spectator system when you do custom battles, for example. So like it's a referee mode basically of where you can switch between views and have the stats on each side, the chat feed, the kill feed.
So the new system looks like
it's not like the replay
system.
was. Yeah, it looks a lot like it's pretty much the same thing except that just a little more options, I guess, for camera angles and stuff.
Yeah, free. Obviously, you have free mode as well. There's a few things you can do with that, but it's kind of very limited. Another problem I have is that I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm assuming a lot of you play on either high or ultra graphics here, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's the deal with us playing on ultra graphics yet being next to an aircraft that's on ultra low textures? You know what I mean? It's like if we're on ultra high, everything should be ultra high. What's the problem? You know?
So in the replay, the textures is different?
It's not just that. It's in actual game as well. If you fly up close to another aircraft,
I haven't even thought
you can
about
see
that.
It's literally just blur. That is it. You know?
That's
you
interesting.
have no idea how frustrating that is when you're trying to do a takeoff scene on a cinematic, because it's just, you have your aircraft, which is like 8K high quality, and then you just look over to the aircraft next to it, like, you know?
Oh, God.
It's awful. It's so bad.
Butter. Yeah. It can get a bit frustrating at times because of that stuff like that.
What were you doing the other day, Pax? Because I saw on your past broadcast that you were capturing.
I was actually made a topic about that on Reddit. There, I'm making a video with a stylized thing, and so far it's been. I'll give you you could all kind of follow along right there. That's the one right there. And there's actually an animated GIF for it too. I made for it. Apparently, I'm holding the record now for like largest Giphy file, like or something like that. It's retardedly big, but I haven't made a cinematic in War Thunder for quite some time, and this is kind of like I just had a little bit of creative juice flowing, and I'm like, I want to do something kind of like that Paths of Hate video, but I want to add a little bit of like kind of almost anime-ish animation into it.
Dude, this GIF doesn't fit my monitor.
It's big. I think I recorded that.
How do you resize it?
I'm sorry.
Control scroll out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just control scroll, man. But coming back into the replay system, when being so fluent with the older one, I had all my options, like the pluses and minuses for the zooms, arrow keys up and down, change the speed, left and right, change the what was it? I can't remember. If it was like pause or not. And then all the numbers did the different camera views, and I'd always pop between the third person follow and then the chase cam to get the certain chase cam ones because it felt more fluid. And then now all we got is a lot of static focus on the image ones. There's one good one, which is 6 in their little thing.
Write it down, guys. 6.
6 is good.
6 is great.
But it's random. You have to kind of like slow the video right down.
I was going to do a suggestion, which I think you would like personally, is basically what I was going to suggest is that for vehicles, there be a camera box around it. And what would happen is that, okay, cool, you'd have your camera, but then you could move that camera into a position and fix it. So that the camera would stay static in that position following the... So, for example, if you're flying a plane, normally you'd only have the option to look at either wing, outside view, or random camera, right?
Yeah.
But instead, in this, you could have the camera fixed maybe behind the cockpit instead, something like that, and just fix it there, and it will just follow it. You know, just stay in one position.
They have that kind of like that already with that one where it's either from the front of the back, and then it'll depend. And if you can sit there and click it forever, and it'll go through about 50 variances, 50 different front angles, 50 different rear angles, from either dead center of the screen to bottom third left, bottom third right, top third right. They do have something like that, but it's just you have to like sit there and spam it forever, and it's never focusing on a like a 45-degree angle. It's always just dead center or dead back. The camera's looking forward, the camera's looking rear view. They have that third person one where you can freely look around the plane, and you can use the zoom and stuff, and sometimes you get a kick-ass angle, but very rarely. And then the last one, which is the biggest bitch to work with because of how you have to move around in the map, but you can just go into free mode, and then basically...
Yeah, free mode's my favorite.
If you remember where something happened, you go back there, or go into free mode, slow the thing down, get ahead of the planes where they're about to go to, get there, and then capture your shots. But even then, I mean, in order for me to do that, because, okay, so this is the problem I'm having. I figured this out last night, was, okay, I play Sim, so I have pedals, joystick, throttle, track IR. I got a lot of shit plugged into this computer. And when you're putting into your control settings, you have, like, for example, like my engine is button 33 or whatever. So I went to the replay system. I started working with free mode, and I was originally just using the mouse and keyboard. Now, obviously, when you press W, you're going really fast. There's no gradual speed you can do with it. So when you press W, you're going full tilt forward, and but the plane you're following is not. So you're sitting there tapping it. So you have this weird, like, pulsating thing while you're trying to keep up with the plane. And it, like, goes way, you know what I mean? So I plugged in my Xbox controller so that way I could, like, you know, push the speed. Yeah. Exactly. When I did that, it made all the buttons on my throttle and my joystick higher. Ruined. Yeah. So button 33, Xbox took over it. And then my throttle became, with the engine game, became button 68. So I went in to capture more footage by just doing a couple more games live. Every time I shot the cannons, it turned off my engine. So I got into this weird situation of where it just overrid everything. Thank you, Microsoft Xbox, for doing that with your controller. Oh no, that's probably more Gaijin's fault, technically. Sorry. That's more Gaijin's fault.
Both.
But there's okay, so there's a competitor of this game for the sim versions of it anyways. I wouldn't really call it a competitor, just another sim game. Battle of Stalingrad. Their replay system is nice. I mean, it's really intuitive what you can do with that replay system. And they also have a rewind button. I hope one day because obviously Gaijin right now, they do have the captured timestamp at the bottom of your screen now.
Yeah.
So that if you find out where something happened, okay, at this bridge at the map, at the 16-minute mark, these guys are going to do this or whatever. So then you go into free mode, you run on over there, fast up, speed up the replay to a high speed, and then when you see you're getting near the mark, you slow it back down, and then you're preparing for that shot to come by your positioning. So at least they have that. That's nice. Thank you. But I love it because it is a finicky system of where, oops, I didn't get the right shot. He wasn't in the right third. I would love to just be able to like rewind that a little bit
instead of having to go through the entire replay again.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, for an arcade replay,
Hey,
I could see this not being. Hey, no, I'm not bashing arcade here. No, for an arcade replay, that's not because the rounds are a lot shorter. I play sim.
too bad.
All my cinematics are done in sim mode. My average replay lifespan is 30 to 45 minutes.
I would love it if it was in the 32nd minute that something you and I record
Do you
happened.
see what I'm getting at? I mean, like, because if something really kick-ass happened at 30 minutes into the game,
You're going to be spending at least 2 hours trying to get that.
and I'll try to capture as many angles as possible. Guess what? I have to go 30 minutes into the replay, and again and again.
Does
and
it
again.
still crash if you go too high speed?
No, it's not so bad. I haven't had a single crash since the new one.
Because that
used to be a problem.
Yeah, because you know, so like you had a replay and you're like, all right, 15 minutes in, this happened, and you're like, okay, I need to redo this. Okay, I know where it is now. I'll just fast forward and crash. Like it's just no.
Yeah, it wasn't very happy with that sort of thing.
That's why we're talking about a replay system now that I've kind of just stayed away because my experience has been like it's not worth the.
At least the replay system's nice enough to put your custom skins in there. I mean, at least it pulls from your.
I've had some
hard
problems
drive.
with that as well.
You had problems
really?
with that?
Yeah, sometimes my user skins
no.
won't show up, and it's a real pain because I've also been having problems in game as well, where I don't know if any of you saw, I did a VE Day cinematic with a squadron of 8 Spitfires followed by the Battle of Britain Memorial flight in War Thunder, and initially when I first got in the game, we had a load of Spitfires with different skins, but they were all showing the same skin. So I had to then go back out and then come back in for them all to show again. It was awful. So that wasn't good.
No, obviously, they at least. I guess I kind of recap on the whole thing, so we are hitting the half-minute mark. I mean, the halfway mark here. We have this company who has broadened their community development base with skin making, decal making, screenshot competitions, video competitions. They have a replay system. This Live War Thunder Place is your one-stop drop shop for all of your skin modeling needs. But every single one of these facets could definitely use a broadening or a depth increase for what you can do with it and how to better improve it so that way you get better quality stuff back. Because obviously, just talking about the replay system here with WeBe, we both know we could do things so much more proficient and interesting to watch because we want these certain angles, and you just sometimes you luck out with 6 when we're doing a replay, and sometimes everything will line up perfectly and it follows the guy around the corner, and all of a sudden you see both planes in shot and you get that. But 90% of the time it's just you looking at the belly of it, and then trees get weird and stuff like that. If they just took a little bit of extra time in Live War Thunder, giving us a little bit better intuitive system there, if they give us a little bit of time in replay system, giving us rewind, little features, stuff like that. If they just broaden all these expansions, we would have this wonderful free marketing system for Gaijin to have utilized.
It's you don't like. I mean, if you
that's
if you
what
give,
it is. That's what it is. We're advertising the game.
If you give anybody, not very good tools and you ask them to do something, it will take them longer, more effort. That all usually means that less people will be inclined or such to do so after, you know, beating their head against something.
I can vouch for this.
Yeah, that I know you can.
I have a big reason because I don't know if you remember Scream, but the War Thunder film, the full feature-length one, the 40-minute to an hour one that I've been working on since, well, May last year. Yeah. It's been a right pain.
I was gonna say, is that ever coming out?
It's still going.
Oh,
it's still going. Yeah, it's still in development. Well, insider information here, but we actually recorded the final scene the other day.
Okay.
But it's kind of, we still have half the film to do, so we've actually managed to record the ending before the rest of it. So
Yeah, that's how. Oh no, that's not unusual though. You usually you know. Yeah, that's not weird at all. Like you film the scenes you need to film in the order you don't do them from beginning to end usually.
Yeah.
I guess maybe in games maybe depending on, but still it depends.
I mean, it's definitely interesting because
it's also a learning experience. I
exactly.
I understand.
It's kind of, when you look back at what we started off with replay wise, you can tell the difference between it. So we may have to go back and re-record all the scenes now that we've all previously done. So it's kind of but it looks great so far. It really does. It's very entertaining to watch.
But if you give somebody broken tools or well, not broken tools. So we have tools that works, but they don't work, you know, to the extent you would expect. It's like, hey, go make a movie, and here's a shitty camera, and well, you gotta do it by hand, and you know, give somebody just like less of perfected tools. It will take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and if you give your community you know, a rewind feature, like just basic things in this replay system that will make things like so much easier, so much less time consuming, and you know, less work, then obviously we're dropping frames on the stream right now when I'm talking. Ah, shit.
Yeah, I did notice that.
We've dropped. Whoa. Well,
is your internet having a poop?
Well, obviously, it likes to have that, apparently. But I'm trying to see, it's still... Okay, I'll restart it, so it'll be 2 parts then in worst case. Fuck. That's bad.
It's fine.
Yeah, but it's dropping frames, so I'll think the only solution I can think of
we can finish up this subject and go on a break, and you can sort it out then if you want, or whatever.
This is like the one time I didn't locally record it either, so I'm gonna be punished for that. Oh well. That's my fault. But it's still dropping frames though. Like, how bad is it when you drop?
What do you got? Well, how about I don't know about you guys, but I think we covered everything pretty well on this side of the topic here. Weeb, do you have anything to say?
Not really. I think covered most of it.
So obviously, I think this would be a good time to take our little 15 before we get back for jingles, and maybe you can try to figure this out, Scream.
Yep.
Check what's running in the background, like Steam updates.
All right. Anywho, yeah, I'll do that. That was a good thought, but it's not that. But I'll check. I just got thrown off here. I'll go to the... Oh crap! Welcome back to War Talk, where I have to recapture these freaking webcams because of everything is hating me right now. We had some technical issues. Whatever Facepax is making cannot be seen nor heard, but I will be getting them on here as soon as I can. My ISP took a dump on us, and it apparently took also forever to get that back up and going. So we're getting them back. Here we have WeBe. He's back, looking like he did right before. That's just how he looked. I promise, nothing has changed. Apparently, I get ISP issues, and these guys start having some type of dressing competition. I don't know what's up with that.
Shit got fucky.
But
it's all sideways.
I should be the one wearing those. I'm the one that could do a British accent. Might be because I'm fucking British.
Obviously, sorry.
At least they had fun, right? Like, it's like I'm running a daycare.
This has been a complete cluster knock. So I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And here we go to the Jingles watch, which we're gonna do, where I also need to recapture these cams. I'm doing that before we look at the picture. You guys can be ready, because you know, Jingles has been seen somewhere in the wild. As always, we're gonna show that picture once I have both of these beautiful, beautiful people on the show.
I love you too.
Has Scream dropped the ball? Let's find out.
All right, and I mean on this one we actually have cake too. I figured I needed something instead of Adam as well, so I found a cake.
Happy birthday, Nigel.
I don't know who Nigel is. I assume
Nigel's your co-pilot in the mosquito.
In the mosquito.
He's the guy in the back on the swordfish. Everyone knows Nigel.
That's Nigel. All right, good.
Oh yeah, Nigel.
Good. He just sits there. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, so yes,
Nigel.
Jingles watch, guys. We've got some footage. It's the same paparazzi as last time. It's Noif who sent us this picture. We are now showing them that, and I think Pax has all the story about what the bloody hell. Should I say what the bull's hell? I don't. This is weird. What's going on, Pax?
Running of the Bulls. Looks like Jingles is out for a light stroll. This is what he does on every Saturday, basically.
Oh.
Keeps him fit. He is getting older. He has to keep in shape. So obviously, as you can see, he's so well fit that he has time to stop, take a quick selfie. As you can see, everyone else is panicking, but Jingles, with his calm demeanor, was able to be like, snap, and then just
you gotta
continues
work
on with his
social
light
media.
stroll.
You gotta work social media at some point.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think he's even wearing his German uniform right now too. Surprising. I'm not too sure what the point of that is. I mean, usually there's a traditional all white with a red sash with these events, but I guess no. It is Jingles after all. He can do whatever he wishes, I guess. So right on, Jingles. Where will you be next?
Nice. Somebody said that this could be him getting stream sniped. That's kind of funny. All right. So yeah, if you guys have any pictures, photos, you know, of genuine quality of what Jingles been up to over the week, then you can send those in a private message to Metagamingtv here on Twitch. That's the safest bet for now until you get an email up.
Email's always helpful.
Email's always helpful. I mean, it started out as as perhaps a joke where I said, hey, send them to Jingles Watch at Metagaming.tv, and I started getting PMs like, the email is not coming through. I'm like, shh, what? People actually started sending it. It was kind of funny. And then it wasn't funny because then I had to like, okay, send a private message instead. So yeah, there we go with that. And where were we before the drop of internet?
Replay systems.
We were done with that. That was
yeah. So we are moving on to the next subject, I think.
Definitely. Which oh, okay, all right. No, okay, yes, all right. WeBe, tell us all about the Vulcan and why you think that should be in the game.
Okay.
Yes.
Time to rustle some jimmies because not many people. It's got a lot of people for it, but a few people against it, which are very vocal. So it's interesting because they all moan at me saying I'm a Vulcan fanboy, which I am. I ain't gonna deny it because it's a beautiful plane.
It's a British plane.
Basically, it's a British plane.
So
the idea behind it is basically the Avro Vulcan is a 1952 era plane which saw service right until 1983, I think. And we're currently working on making a 3D model to make it airworthy in game. But the idea of the pack is sort of it's XH558's last flying season. So after this year, the last flying Avro Vulcan will be grounded forever, so it won't ever be able to fly again. And the idea that we want is that obviously the plane is kind of memorialized in game so people can continue flying it. So that's kind of what the idea is. We've been working on it for a long time. It has been passed to development, but I don't think Gaijin are taking it seriously yet. They have definitely considered it because I have got in contact with people like Lazar and stuff like that. They have most definitely thought the idea was good, but it's getting it past that stage that's the problem.
So what is I don't know who wants to play the devil's advocate because I definitely couldn't, but I'm just curious to hear what's the arguments for it to not be in War Thunder.
The only argument they have is that they feel it would be too quick. Now, we questioned this because Its top speed, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like 640 miles per hour. So it's below supersonic. And that's at level, I believe in a shallow dive, it can reach that. So it's not actually that much different to the Venom or the Canberra. The problem there is its bomb load. It's a 21,000 pound bomb load.
Holy.
And obviously one of those things can be, you know, if it gets through the lines, devastating to an enemy airfield. Problem we're facing with that is also, some people have commented, there aren't many runways that would be long enough for it to take off on. So it would probably be restricted to something like Ruhr and Korea only, which I think is more historical anyway, because obviously Korean War was 1952, Vulcan 1952. But there was also the argument, obviously, it cannot get an air spawn, because if it gets an air spawn, it will just literally base rush, and it will be game over. It needs to be able to have that climb, so that the MiG-15s at least have the opportunity of catching it while it's at low altitude.
Does it have to have the historical bomb load?
Well, its historical bomb load was a nuclear warhead, so I don't think that we're having that one. But it would be the Falklands War bomb load, which is the 21 1,000-pounders. So,
But does it have to have that? Couldn't they balance it by giving it less?
I'm pretty sure they could. Yeah.
Would people be? I mean, people wouldn't. I mean, because there's other planes that people are arguing still doesn't have their historical bomb load.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been tweaked. It can be tweaked around quite easy. I'll be honest. I'm more of the fact that I just want it in game so that I can actually fly it, more than the fact it be any good. You know. So I would literally be happy if what they did is they just nicked the BI-6 Canberra's flight model and just slapped it on the model. I'd be happy with that.
All right. Because you made a whole video or 2 or 3 on your YouTube channel about this project. Long time ago. But I mean, whenever did Gaijin do anything quickly? I mean, it doesn't. I mean, you can't put a. I mean, hey, September 2014. Here's an idea of an airplane, and obviously it takes time for Gaijin. I mean, you got to pause to development. I mean, what that means, guys, is that they looked at it. You know, they looked at it, they thought about it. You know, as far as I can tell, they haven't said nope. They haven't said yep. They've said we'll look at it.
Yeah, well, I can't really say because again, I was under NDA at that point. But there is maybe-ish, depending.
Yeah,
so...
right, yeah. Priorities. Stuff like that. I can understand that. What I'm trying to portray to the viewers is that it doesn't happen within a month. It doesn't happen. You know, putting a new plane model into the game. Even though you guys see a new plane maybe every patch. Well, I mean several. These are things they've been working on for quite some time. So I don't expect this to be soon either. I just think it's a really interesting thread for people. I've linked it already. It's an interesting thread. It's an interesting topic where this would fit within the timeline, right?
Just about. Well, there's a bit of argument against it because the particular model we want is a 1956 variant of the Vulcan. But you say that. Obviously, we've got the ZSU. We've got the Leopard 1 coming in. We have the CL-30.
They were very strong about saying nothing past 1953.
Yes, but they've broken their own saying, so, it's kind of controversial, as I said. But we were thinking maybe that the initial idea was to get the Vulcan in-game as a custom battle aircraft, not as a regular matchmaking aircraft. But what was suggested is maybe we have a prototype version of the Vulcan as a regular aircraft, and then obviously XH558 Vulcan B2 as, your little test flight and custom battle ones. But again, it's kind of a waste of an aircraft. So it's it's a bit yes and no. I mean, it's possible to do, but it's just making sure that the aircraft would be okay to be able to see regular matchmaking. And that's the issue over it.
Well, I like the whole, I like when the community comes together and makes a thread about this, puts a lot of work and effort and details into it. I mean, you even have a model of it, don't you? Like, basically.
Yes, we do. I can try and quickly find some sort of. Oh, I've got to go through a lot of development messages.
No,
Give
you
me a
don't
few
need to do
minutes
that,
and I'll
but
find
I'm
one.
looking at your thread. Like, there's a screenshot of it being, like, an asset, like, modeled. Like, you know, I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it looks like somebody put a lot, you know, some work and effort towards it.
Yeah, just the polys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will find it. There we go. I think. Come on. Is that it? Is it right? Maybe. Possibly. No. Yes.
It's okay.
Load, please.
But, yeah, like, what do you think, Pax?
Well, with the plane situation compared to that, I mean, we know the tanks have obviously stretched a bit beyond that 53 mark. The planes, there's a few select ones, obviously because they have to expand certain trees that didn't have planes of that era. I mean, after all, Germany and Japan did kind of lose. So all of a sudden we see a CL-13 and a Sabre on those nations in order to rotate and balance it around. Does British need another jet compared to other nations? No, I don't think so. They have enough. When we're talking,
well, a competitive jet, maybe. A competitive jet, but that's the Hawker Hunter, and everyone's happy with that. I would safely say that having the Vulcan in game would be more of a, you know, an end game reward sort of thing, because it isn't needed, but it'd be nice. You know, it's an iconic
Sabres,
aircraft.
basically.
Yeah, it's an iconic aircraft, and it's, you know, it shows Britain's aviational power, and I think that's what needs to be conveyed, because we've done a little bit of research, and the Vulcan has never, ever actually been officially made by a development company. Ever.
Who made it, then?
Well, it's only been modders that have brought it into games.
This is community built, yeah, Scream. This is made by modders, basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No other games ever had it in their game.
Oh, that's what you mean. All right, now I understand what you mean. All right. Yeah.
It's definitely unique, I'll give you that. I mean, it's obviously it would never be a premium because they don't do a premium tier 5. But
unless they had it as a limited time aircraft. Somebody had mentioned that.
Okay. A grinder, yeah, for a...
Or a limited time pack.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, no, that would make it a special... Yeah, if it didn't have the premium benefits to it, then...
No, it would just be an aircraft.
Yeah, that would have to be there. Because that is endgame stuff, right? Yeah. I don't know. I haven't dabbled too much in a jet. I mean, like, I don't play a lot of jet. It was never my thing. And plus, I'm doing the spading thing of where I'm spading every plane, and I'm pretty much spaded across tier 4, moving into jets slowly for the long grind, if you want to call it that. But for like another end game, for I guess an end game British one, yeah, there could be a good little gap there to fill, obviously, because they have a lot of, like, you know,
the Vickers Valiant. The Vickers Valiant would be a way better candidate for an actual in-game one, more than the Vulcan. But the reason why we say Vulcan is because, well, Vulcan. So it's an iconic aircraft. I mean, I believe it's actually, in Britain's modern society, it's actually more famous than the Lancaster. It's actually that more well known in Britain.
But I mean, isn't this also a isn't the whole thing here that Gaijin said, like, I know they've broken it a little bit, but they said, like, okay, the timeline, we're gonna have vehicles up until this point. But can't there be, like, arguments from other countries and nations where they're like, well, then can't we get this one that were just made at that time? That's the problem. Like the problem is, like, where do they step down and go, like, nope, like, we're done. Like, we're
technically their done was saying 1953. That was their thing. They've kind of hit it in certain places because obviously they don't have any jets. Besides, because they lost the war and they just were not allowed to make any. But they've had to break up things there. But when it comes to nations that keep on going, the Allied nations, they can kind of do whatever the heck they want. They can say nope, 1953 because we already have enough as it is. And that's been their staple stone. Now, obviously, we have also the international tree, which is going to be in development here. That they've been kind of putting on the sideline here. I mean, we have confirmed Italy is going to become the third axis, so it's 3v3. So now we have balanced sides. And then we're going to have this international tree that's in development that's not been promised yet, and no idea how they're going to incorporate it. The idea behind it's there. which no one knows exactly how they're going to implement it, whether it's going to be an actual nation by itself that's a mix of nations, or it's going to be a tree in every nation that's the international tree of where it's just like a separate branch, like right beside bombers, for example.
Yeah, I would say it's probably going to be like that, because I think what they'll do is they'll do it more along the lines it will be done by, obviously there'll be the tiers, but it'll be done with the best tier from extra countries.
Attackers, bombers, international, right? And then premium right beside that. That makes more sense, obviously, because then you have like these, and that's going to end up being, I mean, when it comes, we talked about this many times before when it comes to premiums, I like it better when it's a unique plane instead of a captured or reskin plane.
Copy and paste, basically.
Like the boomerangs and the D520. I love them. I mean, because they're so unique. They're part of it. They're a nation that did a very valuable part in the war. It's nice to see their stuff in there, especially because British tree is a lot of Commonwealth in there. So obviously it's easy to do diversity in the Commonwealth nation. It's a little more tougher with Japan and Germany. I mean, Germany's actually pretty easy, sorry, but they're doing the Italy thing, which is basically their other big primary one. But when it comes to jets, like talking about this Vulcan here, it's cool. I mean, I would love to see it smash Hortons all day long, personally. But if they ever met, because right now Hortons are OP as shit right now.
I think that you'll find that the Vulcan would be literally. I've sent you 2 links there of concept art that I've done personally for them. One's a stat card and one's what we thought it would look like in the hangar. But it's kind of like, as you say, it would literally be Battle Racing 9.0.
So I don't have to click on the damn sky.
Yeah, it'd be the top of the top for sure. Yeah, but that'd be cool. I mean, fighting with the sabers, the cannon sabers on America versus the CL-13s.
1,000 pound bombs times 21.
It's basically an attacker, not so much a fighter, right?
It says jet bomber here.
It's a bomber.
It's a bomber. No, it is a bomber.
It's a big ass bomber.
They don't have any. Yeah, they don't have any high tiered bombers like that. I mean,
Canberra.
Hey, let's add something to the game that might piss people off.
Okay, so America's got the B-57s.
57.
British has got the Canberras, and that's
Germany,
it.
the Arados.
Well, the Arado's not that high though.
The second one is.
The second one is, and Japan's got
R2Y2s.
Those are all 6.3, 6.7.
And then Russia's got the IL-28.
Oh, the IL-28's a fucking UFO. Yeah. So technically, Japan's the only one that doesn't have a high tier bomber.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, because their R2Y2s won't get into those high tier games. But, well, they maybe, but their BRs
very rarely.
Very rare, and they're all the same BR. If they change the performances on the 3 different models, it's just copy paste. Literally, they're all the same BR, same everything, just different skins. Really, they like stretched it beyond belief. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It'd be more interesting if you could find a Japan bomber, high tier bomber. I mean, it'd be cool to have a British one, I guess. It's diverse because right now B-57 and Canberra is basically a copy paste already.
Well, it sets from the B-57B. That's a slightly different aircraft.
Yeah, with the gun.
Well, it's a really, really cool idea and thing, and I mean, I feel pretty neutral on the whole subject. I feel, it's either or for me personally, but at the same time, like, just looking at the airplane, I feel like, of course I want that in game because it looks
sexy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely eye candy. Absolutely eye candy. It's like, what is it? I like it.
I mean, one of the best things, as a lot of people have commented, is there's a very unique thing about this plane. Not only has it got the agility of basically a fighter aircraft for a bomber. I mean, this thing is huge. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these things in real life, but they are massive. They are huge. And you can throw them around the sky like they're nothing. But it's also got a very unique thing. It's got 4 Olympus engines, Rolls-Royce Olympus engines, and it has a very unique sound. They basically make a howl. It's called the Vulcan howl, and it makes literally like a dinosaur like screaming. It's like, it's really, really loud. And what they used to do is... obviously, it's kind of like a psychological factor, like the Stuka siren.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jericho.
When you hear that thing coming, you're like, "Oh shit!" So yeah.
Interesting. Well, hopefully, I'd like to see some. Has there been any progress on it recently, or is it kind of like on a?
It's kind of. Well, either way, no matter what Gaijin support is going to be on it, it will be in-game flyable. It will be able to be flyed in test flights and some sort of a single mission. It will eventually be there. Whether it'll be in officially, who knows?
What you're saying is that if the Gaijin doesn't do it, there will be a modder.
We're doing it anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
Obviously,
doing it anyway.
the progress is amazing. It's looking good. Kudos to you guys. It looks intense. I really do hope they put it in. I'll back it up. I'll support it too.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love to see this in game.
If it's Gaijin, if it ends up being something I have to pay for, I would pay for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the initial idea was to try and keep it so that it could fund the Vulcan to continue flying, but obviously it's grounded this year. So
yeah, you're running out of time.
More of a tricky factor. Yeah.
Here's open.
That's pretty dope.
So speaking of custom things and planes and stuff and models, let's talk about cockpits for a bit and the lack of in-game.
I can't add much to this, but you go ahead.
You can't add much to this? I mean, oh, come on.
You know, because when I fight people in arcade or realistic battles, I miss those cockpits.
I miss them so dearly.
Like, why can't I see the gauge? I don't know.
So, like, the longest running gag for, I guess, content gag, not so much bug gag, has been the cockpits that have been elusively missing for the longest time. They hinted at them over a year ago. They showed us a still of a B-17 cockpit they were working on. Like, this will be coming up soon. And then crickets. Just crickets. Now, we have full tech trees of planes that have 0 cockpits. The heavy fighters are trickling in. They've put a lot of focus on the ones that are more ground attackers. The HS-129 is a shining example of a plane that just got a cockpit, obviously because of mixed mode, and they want that plane in there because that's what it was. It had a big 75 in the nose to smash the ground targets. We're probably going to be seeing eventually a Mosquito cockpit come down the way here because they also had that big nose cannon as well, but it's not, of course, not in yet. They haven't hinted at it, but I got a feeling they're going to focus on the tank-oriented cockpits, more or less. First of all. And when you look at the roadmap on the website, very vaguely non-descriptive, they have 2 things: bomber cockpit, World War mode. Now, right now, they've been in development right now. They're doing the tournament thing, which has been initialized. We had to do in the top 300, I think it was, in your game mode, got you a ticket into the tournament, and then you could play the tournament and try to get in your rankings. Like Dion DeBlanc was the top 10. Arcade, for example. I guess some good friends of mine like Krapinski and Dylan Biz, they were in the top 30 for simulator mode. So that's been cool. It's just neat to see they're doing this little internal. I wouldn't call it tournament. I would call it more competitive mode than tournament mode because it's not really a tournament. A tournament's an event, right? Well, this is more just like a battling your top leaderboard thing. So it's just more of a competitive thing. So that's already kind of in / almost done / it's moving along. So the next big patch, according to these notes, is going to be bomber cockpits, World War mode. Now, we've talked about World War mode in the past on this podcast. Let's talk about the cockpits. What do they bring to the table besides immersion? Now, coming from sim mode, myself personally, I think it's going to be neat as a immersion thing, but as a necessity, because if they don't fix other things, I think it's going to be absolutely just nothing but eye candy. As long as you can go into third person, it's going to fix nothing with the bomber situation that we're having in sim mode as is right now. Right now, bombers are the worst. I could go for hours on this, which I'm not going to. I'm going to try to keep calm here and not get flustered. But adding a cockpit to a bomber only makes you have to just hit the V key and you're back into third person. I can see everything mode as is. So, like, Weeb's sitting here right now on the edge of his seat. I know he wants to say something. He's like, Weeb, what are your thoughts on this?
Basically, I know for a fact that this whole, bomber issue has been around for a long time. I mean, I'm not sure if everyone here is around long enough, but the Sky Police were a thing for a long time. Yes. So, I was very in support of that, due to the fact, it might have been a little bit controversial, but it was for a damn good reason. Bombers are broken in simulator battles. That's full stop. Cockpits would definitely add to the fact that maybe it'd be a little bit better, but they would either have to completely remove the fact that you would have third-person gunner mode, and that, you know, if you wanted to play a bomber in simulator, you had to make sure your crews were good enough, maybe. But
a lot. I mean, then you also have the premium B25 stuff like that. But yeah. Usually crews are maxed out, so that and then you give them that.
Yeah,
little bit
I mean that would
boost
be
too.
a little bit of a, you know, that'd be okay because at least you won't have laser precision from the player. That, or there's going to need to be a first-person gunner mode. It's either that or, you know, nothing, essentially, I think.
Now, what have they given us? What have they given us for first-person modes? In a while, I mean, we were given a blank black square with a cutout with a little bit of a crossfade opacity on the edges for the tank driver. That is optional. We can go into. That's the only first-person thing I can think of.
I mean,
that they've
is it
added
that
besides
difficult to do
your
a
typical
first-person gunner mode? It doesn't feel like the most challenging.
The easiest way I could see them ever doing it is that you'd have to go into every single one of these planes, change the camera from your third camera to which is the camera's pointed, and you're in a gyro ball, basically what it is. And when you move around, you're moving around the bomber model. Is what it is technically. Mm-hmm. In order for them to do a gunner mode, you're going to have to set up additional cameras that are located a lot like in Sim Tank, of where you have a commander, where your default view is the camera's really low on top of your tank. Sometimes a machine gun kind of gets in the way of the camera and you can see through the model every now and then, but that's just because they're just kind of a copy paste thing they're doing here.
Yep.
You have to bring it down. The cheapest method would be to make a gigantic sprite image with cutouts of just putting it's like a lot like the scope mode, which they already have in there, but just put like a little weird blurry crosshair in the middle or a little iron sight.
Yeah.
And that would be the simplest mode. The most difficult one would be to put in
full models.
The whole 9 yards. Knowing Gaijin's track record, I don't think they're gonna. I can't see that in the near future.
You're right, though. I mean, there's no denying it.
I mean, like we're still waiting for the cockpits, let alone this gunner idea, WeBe. I mean, like it'd be so cool to see. Obviously, I mean, like if you ever played IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad,
yes,
you can truly appreciate effort in that game when you move from a different gun,
isn't it? You know, if IL-2's got it, no reason why Gaijin can't. It's just a matter of time and effort, really, isn't it? If they want to make this game as best as they possibly can and make it this selling point.
In Gaijin's defense, IL-2 is quality over quantity. We're looking at 10 planes in IL-2. We're looking at 260 planes in War Thunder. So that's a lot of content you have to drop for just guns, tail guns. And we're talking, like some of them, how would you even model? Specifically like ME-410s. They had a very complex tail gun system. Of where it was like these two crosshair sections on the sides. It was all hooked up by a gyro lead bars to these two guns.
But maybe, you know, if worst comes to the worst, do it for the aircraft that you can do it for, and then just do the rest where it's AI controlled. You know, it doesn't have to be, because that's the point. You're not flying the aircraft in simulator battles for the gunners. You're flying it for flying the plane. Yes. You know, so...
Another easy option would be just disable the third person entirely.
There you go. And then just let the AI gunners do their work.
Exactly.
If you die, you die, because that's what you had to in real life. You had to trust that your gunners would do the work. And I think that's fair, right?
That's absolutely fair. Absolutely. I mean, I personally would love it if they just had, you know, they put limited ammo, because right now they're unlimited. No other plane gets that. Well, I don't know why gunners get unlimited ammo. Beyond my comprehension. But... And then also, just that third person thing. If they just disable it so that you're just flying the plane as it is, I'd be more than happy. More than happy with just that even. It's a good start. It's a step in the right direction. Because right now, you can go into third, span these guns at that full kilometer distance, and just you can watch this bomber shooting you, and the bullet's not even drawing anymore how far you're away, but they sit there and spam it. And that's the situation we have right now. I mean, with cockpits... They're only going to be, important the minute you are stuck in them. Yeah. The minute, you are forced to be in that cockpit. And I can see why it's a daunting process, because not every bomber is the same. So, for an example, if you're looking at a smaller bomber, such as what's a good example of a really small bomber that doesn't have a cockpit right now?
Blenheim?
A Blenheim. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm aiming for, but not really.
Beaufort,
Sorry?
Beaufort, Wellington.
Something small like that, or like a bow fighter or something like that. That's like more of a ground attacker. But the smaller cockpit, they make a lot of sense. They're easy. Like they've done the IL-2, they've done the Canaberras, or the B-57, sorry, because it's still technically like a one-seater cockpit of where you don't have a lot to work with besides just your components in front of you. You have a seat behind you, and then we look at a bigger cockpit of like a B-17 or a 24 or the Lancasters.
Those could be a lot harder.
The thing
Lancaster
is,
will be the hardest.
exactly. With those planes in particular, you're looking in front of you, but if you have like track IR and you just decide to turn your head back, all of a sudden you're looking down this hallway of frame, bombs, guys back there. There's a lot of shit you got to render on screen that is inside that cockpit. That's a lot of work because they didn't have it just like it's closed off, right? Like literally, you could just walk into the cockpit. It's not like a 747 you fly on where you have like a closed off pilot section. It's just it's a long hallway. Like right to the cockpit to the back.
If they did it much like how, do you remember before when they removed either it was the pilots or cockpits from ultra low settings so that only people with high end rigs would render cockpits and stuff?
Oh, right.
That could be a thing, because at least that way, all right, cool, maybe they can't benefit it, but then again, why? I know it sounds bad, but you are running.
It would end up being just like the low quality version of tank mode, where people would run on ultra low just to get rid of the grass. They changed that recently, because before you could download the game for an ultra low spec thing of where it didn't give you all the assets, which was the cockpits.
You can still do it. Oh, okay.
The thing is that if you have your game installed with that method, you cannot play sim because you need those assets.
Yes.
They forced it so that you cannot go play sim if you don't have the cockpits.
Yeah.
You have to download them. Because obviously it's a fairground thing for just balancing reasons, which is the same situation right now, which is happening in tanks, of where they're trying to figure out a give-take thing, so that way people with low-spec machines or high-spec just going right down to ultra-low don't get the advantage of seeing through invisible foliage.
Yeah.
Compared to the high-end guys. So what they've done is a cheap fix of where, when you're in scope mode, the grass doesn't draw. You can just turn that off, right? So you can still have your pretty grass footage graphics and all that good stuff, but the minute you go into your sniper scope, the grass is not drawing anymore, so that way you can see over those horizons effectively. Yeah. As for like the specs of the cockpits, I mean, I don't know, an ultra-low option would be a Sprite cockpit. I don't know.
Well, you say that, but... Well, actually, no, think about it. An ultra-low textured cockpit would be what we already have.
Wouldn't it be not that bad? Like, I mean, I've seen guys...
I don't think it would.
I mean, you have those modeled HUD elements. Your altimeters, your every nation has their own... You just take those already in there, those HUD elements, your ATAs, your altitude, all things already in cockpits, put them on a 2D one, looking just forward. You don't have to have situation awareness in a bomber cockpit, because obviously you never really were looking at the ground anyways. And if you have the ability to switch to your bomber scope and you already can pull up your map as it is, then you got everything you need. You have the map of where your positioning is. You have the scope mode for looking directly down through your bomber scope, and you have a cockpit just looking forward, making sure that you're not flying into the ground or flying straight up, which also then your HUD elements will have. That would be like a really cheap and effective, but you wouldn't be able to turn your head inside the cockpit. I mean, obviously because it's just a 2D backdrop, right?
I don't think anyone in the sane mind would take an ultra low res cockpit bomber into a simulator battle anyway. You know, from my experience, ultra low players normally stick to arcade and realistic anyway. Because obviously, one, I doubt they're going to have a joystick if they can't afford a decent graphics card, you know?
Funny thing is, I actually know about a good 6 people who play almost on ultra low, and they're all sim pilots. It's kind of funny in that sense, because there's a couple of them that do.
You say that they can't afford a joystick, while the joystick is way cheaper than a graphic card, honestly.
True,
same with gamepads, which work flawlessly as Coda. I don't know, man. Playing sim,
I mean,
I don't
my
think
point
that's...
is, it's kind of like, if you're going to play sim, you're going to do it properly, aren't you, really?
You don't have to...
You know?
Some do, some don't.
I mean, just imagine, people might, might have played, be into simulator games since 6 years back. Maybe they stumbled upon some other titles that they started getting into, and they're now running on a 6-year-old PC that might struggle a little bit with War Thunder. Heck, make it a 10-year-old PC could probably still run War Thunder. We talked that on a previous episode. And they've been in sim since, I don't know, Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator, right? So technically, you could definitely have people with lower-end PCs flying sim. I don't think...
Yeah.
You know, that's a limitation.
Well,
and
though,
a lot of sim players play on PS4.
yeah, true. But that's fine because it's not ultra-low graphics.
They're
All right,
fixed.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess. Graphics fixed. True, the graphic options.
Even a 10-year-old PC can run on, I would say, medium easily.
This game, yeah,
it's very well optimized.
You can run on a toaster.
Let's not go into ground forces with it, though.
Ground Forces is a different beast. That's like Ground Forces is actually that's probably the most taxing thing in the game right now. I mean, when you do mixed mode and
I have a 980 and I struggle on ground forces.
Yeah, there's a lot of foliage. They do a lot of animated sprite foliage, like the amount of trees and stuff. They have always drawing. The renders of the ground is much higher resolution.
You go from an airplane to a tank and you drop like 50 FPS. Like
fly over, like fly in mixed mode. And fly over that area where the tanks fight. Just look at your frame rate. Just watch it right down.
Luckily, I never dropped below 70. So
good. Yeah, good.
No. Sure. No, I run a 980 too. But you know, it's still a 50 frames drop. Like, you know, if you have 70 and you're in an airplane, you have 120. You know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have 70 in ground forces, you'll have 120 at least in the air. Like, it's just so very different.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you guys are running 90. I'm running a 680 over here. I'm a couple of generations behind.
I thought you were running. I thought you were running like 3 980s
absolutely
or something.
Fine. If I'm not streaming, I'm running the game in 4K, and then I'll have a frame drop every now and then below. I don't reach like 300 frames or nothing like that, mind you. I mean, I'm sitting at a nice cool 70. But when I hit near ground targets, I'll rock right down to 40, and all of a sudden it's like
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
The amount of stuff that's being drawn on the screen there. But yeah, no, for optimization, it's really good for sure. But yeah, as for bomber cockpits, I don't know. I'd love to see them, but I don't think that is not. I think that is not the biggest issue.
What if quickly diverting away from gunner view and stuff like that? I would like to see a bombardier view.
Ooh, yeah. No.
Because what you could have, you know, like when we have.
Have you seen? Do you know what IL-2's bomber view looks like?
This is what I get from playing IL-2.
I haven't ever played it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just not the only one.
Let me show you what sex looks like.
I played 1946. That's it.
Okay. Well, in IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad, their bomber view, scope mode, whatever for the bombers, and what you have to do while you're in that mode is awesome. I gotta find a screenshot for you here. I'm having a hard time. Maybe someone in chat can find it quicker than I can. But you actually can dial in wind, trajectory. It is amazing.
Yeah, let's make it impossible to hit a ground target when bombing in sim.
No. Because when you're in this bomber view, basically you do take a little bit control of the plane in a sense of where you can kind of guide it.
Well, yeah, it'd be like the American Northern Bomb Sight, you know, where you have the accurate in the B-17, you have the little guy controlling where the plane goes as well. You know? Yeah, which is basically what we've actually got in our scope view already. So it's in game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's there.
I don't think I've understood that bomb sight. I've never fucking figured it out. I tried bombing using the bomb sight in realistic.
There's nothing to figure out. It's just your camera's looking down, and you're still flying normally. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the exact same thing. You're flying normally, just you're looking down. Ah, here we go. Here's
I should ask questions, but I won't do that on stream. I'm not gonna make a fool out of
There's
myself.
a good example of like the bombers. It's a horrible resolution, but there's the bomber scope, and it's a click thing. It's a click thing. Everything on there is a click thing for like distances.
Well, I was thinking more of a fact that we would have a camera legitimately actually in the nose cone. You know, where you could look around maybe out of the. You know, you could look down, see where your surroundings are, sort of thing. You have your bomb sight in front of you, and then you'd right click. That would take you down to the bomb site. You could right click back out again, look around, sort of thing, make sure you're all right. Make sure you're obviously your other mates in their bombers are in formation, not about to collide into you, because that way you don't have to switch from bomber view to cockpit again. Because that way you can just look out the nose real quick, you know?
Well, that would only work on particular bombers, unfortunately.
Oh yeah,
And
heavy bombers. You know,
Yes.
Ju-88, stuff like that.
Yeah, some bombers. The guy who did the bombing and did the controlling of the bombing was sitting on like a little side desk in the back, and
Yeah,
they had like this
obviously, it
weird
would be
gyro system with like
particular
little
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then he would take control of the whole thing, and you couldn't see nothing. He was like he was surrounded by metal walls down the main corridor of the plane, and he didn't see nothing except for what was exactly down his sight, and then just talk to the people around in the bomber. I mean, that works on certain ones for sure. I mean, that's a cool idea, nonetheless.
I think it'd be something that would be quite appreciated by a lot of people because there are some really good, there's actually some really decent bomber pilots. Not the idiots that climb to altitude, but actually go out, do the objectives that they're meant to do. I think that's something they would appreciate.
Yeah,
and I reckon it would bring something a lot more to simulate. I think fighter pilots in simulators would actually respect bomber pilots a little bit more due to the fact that, one, they're not just in this virtual
if
camp
they had
view.
to try.
Yeah.
If there was effort, because every other plane in that mode requires some form of effort, whether it's the flight models, the damage models, and the fact that you have a limited field of view. The bomber does not follow any of those rules, and then add unlimited ammo on top of that. And for bombing mode, it's so simple. You just click V. You're still in control with that very easy, dumbed down flight model that bombers have. It's gigantic, damage, sponging, and now with the mass physics involved, now it's harder to ram even. I mean, it's this gigantic death machine that flies around and just gains RP like mad. Obviously, I mean, there's things you can do on the RP aspect we talked about before, of
Just
where
look at the bomb
you make
site.
it
Look
you
at
make
the
it
bomb
more
site, we could post it.
you make it more rewarding for taking out ground targets compared to taking out airplane targets. Obviously, that's a much more beneficial thing. It would be, I think, personally, of where getting air kills is not as important as getting ground kills, making the bomber's purpose.
I think that's right. I think they need two bombers. They need to make ground target XP much more important.
Yes, you are a support role. You are not meant to engage. Those guns are literally nothing but for defense. They are not meant as an offensive tool, right?
Because they are literally gunships, aren't they? They just go around like AC-130.
That's exactly what they are right now. They are flying Death Stars, and you have to get down the Kessel Run to take one out. I mean, it's a fucking nightmare to take out these bombers. Even if you attack them properly, you hear all the excuses. But nonetheless, that's actually a really cool little bomber site right there. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, apparently it might be a Blenheim. Apparently the search mistagged it because he was searching for HE111.
I'd seriously think, though,
that bomb site, that's what sim
idea.
players should get.
That's
They should
Aces
get that.
High, I think.
But that is the bomb site people should get.
That could be
that I
Cliffs of
think.
Dover.
It could be close to Dover. I don't know.
But anyway,
That's cool, though.
Anyway, yeah, like imagine in sim you're like, how does this thing work?
If all of a sudden one day, if you wanted to be a bomber in sim mode and it required you to understand or actually do more multitasking things within the bomber to make it more efficient,
I think that'd be a
lot
lot more immersive.
a lot of whining, and a lot of people would be very, very positive toward it in sim mode. All of a sudden, you'd find a lot of fighter pilot guys even going to bomb themselves because it's a challenge.
It's a new
again.
experience.
One of the reasons you played this mode is that it's challenging. The instructor has been fired. You are actually in control of the plane. Have fun. That's what sim mode is.
I think,
Bombers don't follow those rules. And if you had to, exactly what you're saying, Wave. Like if you had to incorporate any of these things to just bring it, not immersion. Screw immersion. Immersion is just sugar icing on the cake. If it required a challenge to do the task at hand, people would appreciate a shitload more.
It is funny though when it's like, okay, so what the like you kind of learn what these gadgets do. You learn something, you appreciate something. You realize what they had to do in real life, and you're like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be cool because I mean, as much as I think right now it would be very, very put against, but if this had been implemented where you did have the cockpit view and you did have this bombardier nose section view, I reckon I legitimately think that things like bomber formations in simulator battles will not just be really entertaining for the bomber pilots, but extremely fun for a fighter wing
Absolutely.
to attack in simulator battle as well.
This is
because
if I ever, that makes an exactly good point, Wave. If I ever have like a frustrating time in fighters or something like that, I'm having a rough night or whatever, just things aren't lining up good. a good way for me to have personally fun is grab a swordfish, fly on deck, and go bomb a destroyer. That's just, once you find something that has elements to it that just, yes, exactly, make it challenging. You're going to find people doing the formations like that, for example, and having a good time with it, even if they know that they're at a disadvantage in certain other aspects.
because they'll do it just because it'll be awesome. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Thank you.
I mean, I've
swordfish. I know I'm like the shittiest.
You're gonna die,
I'm
but
gonna
you're gonna do it fun.
But I'm gonna go down fighting, damn it, and it's gonna be fun.
With my squadron recently, we've been taking the B-17E with the cockpit into simulator battles, but not using the gunner views. We've been just literally sticking to the cockpit. That is so much fun. It's ridiculous amount of fun because obviously you have all your little engine control, manual engine controls set up. If you have a fuel fire on one of them, you turn off engine 4 and you look out the window and the thing stops. It's great. It really is.
And it actually adds a little bit of fear to the game too, because you don't see them. You don't,
because you have to trust your other bombers around you to be looking around.
You're in a glass gazebo. And you just hear the strikes hitting you. All of a sudden, you see a fire. You look at the way you can see the fire. You're turning off it. That is awesome. And you're actually having a good time getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
I mean,
the problem.
Can you imagine things like, for example, well, this is another thing that probably for another podcast, but about the event stuff. But I mean, could you imagine maybe, I don't know, an RAF Bomber Command night raid in Lancasters where BF-109s and BF-110s have to come up and intercept, and literally you're in this cage looking for where the ME-410s are in pitch black.
It would be amazing. You know? Even I, who don't play Sim, would fucking love that.
There's just, I know through.
Can I just go with for the ride?
Lesser, he's one of the developers. He does that Lesser Response forum feed, of where people ask questions about things going to be implemented for the playing aspects of things. Now, he's hinted at the idea that they're going to do something about those 410s because they did have that radar as a night attacker. So that, I mean, the cheapest thing they're going to probably do, they're probably just going to put in that little arcade blip, so that when you get in a certain proximity, the red dot appears on your little radar.
I don't think it should be a red dot, because I think it should be done by radio waves or something.
Yes,
you know, at least maybe a pulsation.
Obviously.
Maybe
when you talk about that event with that night raid thing, I mean, the closest thing we have to that right now, unfortunately, you don't control the bombers, but they're in there as bots, is like Fight of the Swallows, Guardian Angel, Fight of the Swallows, where it's the 262s versus the P-51s. And that B-17 formation, the 262 take out the bombers before they get to that objective point. But yeah, obviously, you're not the bomber. You're just the fighters in the mix of it.
Well, you can bring a bomber, but it's
the Russian one you can. You can bring a Peshka or a TU, I think.
You can in the Guardian Angel as well. Yes. You can bring a B-17. Yes. And there was the recent one, Operation Chatis, I think it's pronounced, with the Lancasters in realistic battle. They made a new one, which was a Lancaster night bombing raid on a Ruhr factory. Which is basically Guardian Angel, but with Lancasters at night. So that was great fun.
There's potential for some great things as long as they can push these things through and do it right. I mean, so I guess we're already over our time limit technically. Sorry,
yeah, a little bit. No, that's not what I'm trying to get in. That too, like, I mean, I told Ecoke, who was like, "Oh God, overtime." I'm like, "Yeah, well, we had 20 minutes of technical downtime, so it's fine. I mean, we could technical downtime. ISP calling you tomorrow." Threatening you no, but it's the thing that makes things. I was first gonna say when you were talking about those bomb sites and like, oh my God, that would be so good and all that good stuff, right? And I was gonna be the devil's advocate, go like, well, you know, all these simulator fantasies that you have. From a monetization point of view, it's hard to get Gaijin to prioritize them, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not even gonna disagree.
Make them as a downloadable pack.
No, it's more the work they have to put in
to
actually get it into the game, like the work, like the hours, like, because you know how, like, especially if you're going for those real bomb sites, like, because I agree. I mean, I you know, I might not play Sim nowadays, but I actually sat down and enjoyed the Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator way back. That was ancient time. I was a kid, but I actually loved that, and I totally understand all the feelings of a sim player when it comes to why is it so amazing and fun, and I hope in the future to be able to invest, because I couldn't do sim today without investing in either the thing that you see on the head of Classypax or or the future of VR plus like real joysticks and stuff. Like I need to invest some money before I could enjoy sim. So I understand that part, but yeah, from a monetization standpoint for Gaijin, and I hate that it is that way, where Gaijin will look at the numbers and be like, yeah, maybe we can afford to have one guy doing that a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm not understanding, because like the thing is with War Thunder, it can bring in so many different genre of people. I mean, at the moment,
it does.
You've got it kind of all right. It's okay simulator battles. You know, it's not IL2 level, but it's playable and it's enjoyable.
But you gotta compare
extent, obviously.
amount of airplanes and stuff. Like you gotta compare. What are we comparing here? IL2 is not being sold as a multiplayer experience that you're gonna be playing. For
now,
a long time.
this is where I'm thinking they can extend the game's lifespan by making it a very good simulator battle platform. If you build a game on sim battle, then dumb it down for arcade and realistic, you've got it set. The problem with War Thunder, I think, it was built off of the Birds of Prey engine. It was built off of this console idea. So, you know, if they'd maybe spent a little bit more time focused on simulator battle, then reduced it to fit realistic and arcade, I think they would be onto a winner there. I do think simulator battle is the way forward, because if they can get a sim community built up, a very big one, they're set. They're done. Because it will keep bringing in more people.
I'm
People who fly sim will fly a game for years.
Yep.
Years.
Sure.
I mean, 10-plus-year-old sim games are still live today.
I honestly think that it's difficult to get Gaijin to go to the drawing table and go like, okay, guys, so we're gonna change our what is it, target audience? Because we get
monetization reasons. Obviously, you're gonna have to do something like what because we're talking about other games like there are modular. DCS is a good example of this. Now, WeBe was just talking about there about making a downloadable pack. But the thing with the download pack, I mean, obviously, it's very attractive to a sim person. Like, for a little bit of money, I can get all these kick-ass cockpits and gauges and dials and immersion. Absolutely, I will put money toward that. The problem with that is, personally, I think people who don't want to do that, what do they still get to get the third-person gunner view mode like normally as you can?
I think. But
they get locked right out of it. I mean, they're stuck in just.
What they could
you know what I mean? Like there's a balancing problem there, of where it's like buying it's like buying gunner turrets and stuff like that for tanks, and then everybody else just gets third-person mode.
I just thought of that. Do you play Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead at all?
Not so much these days.
Okay, well, basically. The game comes with Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead as standard. With that comes a light version of the DLC. Now, what that is, it's all the models, but with extremely low resolution. If you want the high-res models, you buy the pack.
Okay.
So what if they were all in, but not, aesthetically pleasing? So if you really wanted to do it properly, you go out and spend a little money on those packs.
Oh, I know what you're getting at now. Okay. So put the effort in, put the models in, the high quality ones, have a dumbed down version that everybody's forced to use, and then the people who are the diehards for that stuff
would buy the packs.
Could buy it to unlock the high quality ones. Now, I like that. At the same time, I shake my fist a little bit at it. It's like, that's dirty, but I can see it because it is the small community. It makes sense because obviously we're the small end of the monetization game compared to other two game modes. And as a free-to-play, you have to kind of go where the money is, obviously. But as an option, that's pretty. I don't mind that option. That's not personally as myself. I would put money to it. I would.
WeBe for Gaijin CEO.
Well, I mean, to wrap it up though, like I mean, the game is geared to. They promoting it as, hey, we got arcade, realistic, and we have sim, right? But obviously, Gaijin, whenever they're looking at how well are we doing, they unfortunately look a lot towards arcade and how many players are actually playing the game. In overall, right? And then they're looking at how many people are playing arcade. Okay, where is our effort gonna be put? What features is gonna propel us to continue the growth or continue doing well? And unfortunately, time and money investment into doing what a lot of people want to see in sim equals what they get out of it might not be, is probably not pleasing when they're looking at it from that standpoint. But I agree with you guys that, had they done differently from day one, maybe, this could have been the simulator game of all games. I still think that...
I still think they should call it FRB, because technically it's not really a sim. It's just full. But that's a different story.
Yeah, all right,
FRB.
yeah. FRB is a really nice way of calling it. And... I think, but I still think they have, they have captured a lot of, multiplayer sim enthusiasts, and with that, me who doesn't even play it, I'm still happy to see that they're at least putting some effort towards trying to please them as much as they can. Because I'm pretty sure they're under some type of budget where, okay, we're putting this much money towards that, we're putting this much money towards that. They probably have some budgets, like what are we putting effort towards, and one can only hope that they put more effort towards sim, obviously, because like you say, sim players stick around, and I mean, I don't think that they're planning to make a War Thunder 2.0 anytime soon. So
it's hard to find a non-passionate sim player, because obviously if you're playing sim, you're dedicated to something and you take the time to learn something.
It did just make me think of a good point, though. I mean, if War Thunder was built as this whole simulator battle thing from the start, we wouldn't have anyone complaining about flight models at all.
Maybe.
A little bit, it happens.
I mean, because I'm happy you didn't use that word now, but you earlier used the word. Hey, you should have made the game sim to begin with, and then just dumb it down for the arcade players, which might piss off some arcade players when you're like, oh, they would be happy with anything dumbed down, like.
You can, if we're besides dumbed down scream, I guess if you want to put it that way, it's just like soften models. Soften the models.
Yeah, like because
forgiving flight models.
Yeah,
forgiving.
Because obviously arcade. I mean, I agree. Arcade is just point and click. It's not that, but you can still argue that it's a different skill set to be good in arcade than it is to be good in realistic.
Oh no. There's you're gonna be skilled in whatever mode you play. There's always gonna be skilled players, because you're using what's in that mode available to its maximum potential.
And they will still critique you on the things that they see wrong or broken or whatever it may be. So I think I think what Gaijin done to begin with, like just even just putting 3 different levels of realism into their game, I think was brave to begin with. Like, I think, not many others would have ever thought about doing that, I think.
Well, I think it's a logical thing to do from a business standpoint, because you've got this game that it's probably one of the most, I would say, for content material-wise, has got a lot in it. For a World War II to Korean War game, it covers a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's already got its selling point there. I mean... and the way that I think it's done, obviously, you're not just attracting your casual gamer, the one that will fly a few arcade battles. You're attracting your dedicated player, which might do a little bit of realistic, but also your hardcore flight sim fans.
But how many
that will play the game for years?
How many hasn't turned into sim enthusiasts after playing arcade? Like, I mean, that's the stepping stone. You step into that.
The thing is that it's not like it's marketed that way so that you just go there. It is there, and you might stumble across it. Like back before they moved sim to the events tab, which is a different topic.
Yeah.
But before that is that if you wanted to just the option of diversity is there, whether or not you choose to do it. So if you like arcade, like I'm a good example of this. I completely skipped RB. Never did RB. I played arcade. I saw the sim mode. Thought I'd give it a try. Got hooked to it. War Thunder is my first sim game ever. I would have never played sim flights if it wasn't for War Thunder, because it was just there conveniently. I put a lot of money into it now, obviously, and I've branched out from just War Thunder as well. The thing is that they don't have to advertise it; they just have to have it there, and put a little bit of attention to it to keep the people that are there happy. And with sim mode being such a tight niche community of like almost everyone knows everyone, and a lot of people like I dedicate Sundays to teaching people how to get into the game mode.
And you do a bloody good job with that, too.
And there's going to be people that do that. There's everyone that I talk to sim mode, they're more than willing to talk to someone else about trying to get them into the game mode, to help them out with the ropes and stuff like that. It's self-perpetuating in that sense. So when it comes to like them, forcing or pushing people, like, it's the greater good. Now, don't worry about that shit. You're always going to have that percentage of people that are never going to want to move beyond just because it's drop in, get out, have some quick fun, arcade, You're always going to have people that like a little bit of that more competitive mode of RB, and then you're going to have that smaller percentage of people that are going to want to try something a little more immersive. That's the word I'm going to use. I like challenging better, but yeah, as long as it's there and it's accessible, you're going to have those percentages across the board, and don't try to like force them to go into certain positions.
Yeah.
If they want to, they can do it on their own accord, right?
I would agree with that, yeah, because I mean, let's face it, Sim. I wouldn't say anyone would come to War Thunder just for Sim. You know, there's plenty of better games out there that do the job.
Yeah.
I think War Thunder Simulator Battles community is definitely grown from within its own community. You know, it's its own little niche.
Incorporation of PlayStation has been a major influx of sim players. There's some really good PlayStation sim
I hear
players.
that every day, every week. I hear people say like,
God.
"Hey, you know all those sim players that has been started playing because they found this, they got this game on PlayStation." It's like, oh, really?
For those who say
Yeah.
you cannot fly without a joystick,
No,
I
Gamepad
think
is
you can plug
so
one in,
viable.
can't you?
Gamepad is
there
so
is
viable.
yeah. There's some kid out there right now sitting on the couch in front of his TV using his PlayStation Eye camera for kind of a laggy head tracking system within a game, playing sim mode, and is destroying your ass. Just
I
remember.
will always keep saying that. I will always keep saying that some of the very, very best squadrons in the gladiator tournaments, in simulator battles, is playing on PlayStation controls. So, yeah, like third place last gladiator, I think it was, Japanese team, all PlayStation controlled. So, you know, yeah. So, all right.
I think though go on that.
No,
yeah.
I was just about to say goodnight and everything. If you had anything you felt was go.
Well, I just thought from obviously your point of view as an avid simulator battle pilot, I wanted to get your opinion on this because it's been on my mind for a while. But would you not rather see some more simulator and historical tactics being brought into the game instead of just take off and shoot down some planes? Because from your point of view, I thought, you know, as a simulator battle pilot, you would maybe want more, you know, formation flying tactics, wings at different altitudes, going for different objectives. Would you rather see a push in that, maybe?
I'll give you my 2 cents on this topic. More like $1.29. But there's always been there, and there always will be that argument in sim games between historical accuracy and balance, of where you want to do it because it actually happened and you want to be part of that reenactment, or you want to play the game because both sides have a terms of pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses that makes it a fair fight on both ends. I personally come from the balance aspect of it, not so much the historical aspect of it. Now, obviously, there's potential for having both in the game, of where you can make both sides happy, in a sense. I mean, the BR system is in there for a reason, of where that's what you do your matchmaking from. It's done by a balance factor of even planes from even a time span difference of like up to like 2 years can still fight each other because they potentially perform at the same peakness. If we went by historical specifically, Russia would be having a very bad day a lot of days, because a lot of their planes are not awesome until later, historically wise. So if you want to do historical things, before Sim was moved from the main queue down to the event queue,
Well, maybe
the events was great for doing reenactment fights, of where you could have, even if it was David versus Goliath type of game modes, of where you had really low tier lags against 109G series fighters. I mean, obviously, Russia's at a bit of a disadvantage here when we're talking historical reasons, and they did get smashed, rightfully so. But Battle of Stalingrad, when you're playing Battle of Stalingrad, the IL-2 game, when you're on Russia, you already know you're going into a fight of where you are not in a good position. You're going to be bounced by 109. You have to fight as a squad, you have to fight as a team, and you have to energy trap them and make them fight on your terms in your low deck, because you're not fighting up where the 109s are. It's a tough fight as being a Russian, but you do it because
it's fun.
It's fun. Now, fun is a vague thing. It depends on the individual. Some people don't think that's fun. Some people don't like the idea of just going in and being on the team that gets bashed, especially when you're playing a game of where the points matter. In IL-2, when you buy the game, everything's there. Go have fun. You have all the planes. You're playing War Thunder. You got to grind and buy your way through the ranks, through in-game Lions, in-game RP. You have to earn it. So to do a historical thing in sim mode, of where it is the team that got smashed versus the team with overpowered stuff. Who wants to be on the team that loses all the time and they are not getting any real gain? They're just paying a lot of repair costs.
Okay.
I mean, some people like it, obviously. Some people don't. There's miniature campaigns being made in custom battles on TeamSpeaks and on forums.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've been in a part of a few of those. Yeah.
Yes, that's perfect for that because it doesn't phase out with the BR system and your leaderboard tracking and stuff like that because the game is based around grinding. As for doing the historical thing, I think an events tab section would be perfect for this. For main queue, I would argue to death balance over historical accuracy any day of the week because this game I don't think is the perfect fit for complete historical accuracy. There's other games that do that much better, and you buy into a done deal. This game, I think, is more the entry level of sim. You get your toes wet. You have a plethora of stuff to work with, tons of nations. Sure, flight models are kind of shitty here and there. Damage models are kind of shitty here and there. Not everything's completely done. But for the amount you get for your buck, which is a $0, and then you can decide how much you want to go from that, it is a beautiful step into a different type of game experience for free. And then you decide how far you want to go. So for me personally, I would prefer a balanced, fun, fair fight over a historically accurate fight any day of the week for this game.
Okay, but would you rather maybe Gaijin push rewarding this teamwork instead of maybe doing this historical accuracy? Just leave it as it is, but actually rewarding formation flying, working as a team, and stuff like that.
I've had talks about this with a lot of guys tons of times. There's a few things we thought would be great. Is that if you're doing those really historical events, where you're in a really under tier plane against high tier plane, your RP when you do something good is amplified because you just basically took out like a tier 2 tier higher plane without 1 tier plane, for example. Then you should be rewarded rightfully so. That also leaves room for exploitation of where your team can join the other team and then just fly low for you and let you easily kill them.
Of course, yeah.
So that can be exploited, but it was an idea nonetheless. The other one about formation flying, I think nobody would say no to that. Team points, there are not enough of it in this game. You already have max squads of 4, which I wish it was more. Obviously, there's reasons you can't do that for just smashing, bashing down other teams because until they up the player count, 4 is what we're stuck with. But as for when it comes to like escort flying with bombers, giving you a purpose to fly high instead of end up this metagame of going down on deck and duking it on the ground, which kind of destroys some of the dynamics of the sim mode. Because usually elevation is a huge factor in sim mode. Energy is life, altitude is life insurance. That's a thing to live by in sim mode. To have gain of where just being in proximity of your fellow bombers gives you this slow RP lion tick, just protecting them.
Yeah.
Something a plane in its proximity of a bomber gives you an assist of like bomber assist or whatever. Flying, yeah, and I mean formation is. It's hard to code formation benefits compared to proxy flying benefits, right?
Well, it is proxy, isn't it? Is it not?
No, just proxy.
It's the same way, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the word formation. I'm thinking formation in different terms of like actually like flying in like a broken finger 4. Or do you mean formation as in you're in this distance bubble, right?
I think that would be the easiest way of doing it.
Obviously, that's what I'm getting at too. Is flying near your allies and just being near them is, I guess you would call it formation. So yeah, obviously I would love more team play aspects this game, personally. But whether or not they do it, I don't know.
It's worth suggesting, isn't it? Really?
It's been suggested so many times.
We even touched on a lot of
just like Gunner's suggestions.
We touched a lot about things that had to do with how to encourage more team play on a previous episode, if you remember, Pax. All the ideas, yeah.
They've done the squad thing, which is nice. So if you're squatted up and you do something beside your squad mates, you get the squad benefits. Good
teamwork, 300 points.
That's your t-shirts. we got that so far, but yeah, nothing else beyond that.
Yeah. All right, you want to consider this done then? Awesome.
I guess so.
unless no. All right. This is the longest we've gone over the time, but we had a bit of technical issues.
Talk.
It was
Thank
a good
you,
talk.
WeBe. You've been an amazing guest. Absolutely amazing.
You are very welcome.
I do hope you come by and do this again for sure sometime. I love the
Yeah,
taco.
Yeah, we had return
You know your
guests,
stuff.
so there's definitely gonna be plenty of opportunities to do that. I guess we try not to have the same one for 2 weeks in a row though. But I mean, who knows? We might need a British guy next week as well. Adam is AFK then too, so we'll see. Maybe you will replace the pony. You know,
Maybe.
we'll see, guys. Thank
I don't
you.
know. Maybe.
Thank you so much, WeBe, for being a guest, though.
Yes.
You are very welcome. Very welcome.
Definitely talked way more than I was. What is the word? Expecting.
Scream's always bad compliments. Sometimes they come off as insults.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna be a lot more uglier, but I guess you're not that bad looking. He's like, you tried, Scream.
Thank you.
Hey, anything is better than Adam. I try to say that in the best way. Oh shit, he's not. Okay, never mind. Thank you so much. Anybody who wants to catch WeBe, he makes plenty of YouTube videos about all things gaming, and even War Thunder, actually, every now and then.
Sometimes War Thunder.
Sometimes
More
War
about,
Thunder.
you know,
Other times it's about other things.
anything I want to, basically.
Q&As, all that good stuff.
Q&As.
Basically, it's just like anyone else, just, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Just a guy that uploads videos. There you go.
No, I really like your content. I think if you guys go and just search for WEBE, WeBe, his channel is the first thing you'll come upon. It's simple. It will be linked. Wicked is probably doing it as I'm saying this. Usually that's what's happened. And as always, Classypax. Tomorrow you guys will catch him teaching you how to play Sim on his channel, which I think we even have a command for you. You know that, right? I think it's
Oh, do you?
Pax. Oh shit! Wait, Pax. There we go. Right? No.
Okay.
It used to
That
be.
doesn't work.
God damn it! Oh, Facebook. Okay. Anyway, whatevs. I know there is a command. Wicked knows it. There's a. Freaking
Anyways.
command. I'm Stream112. You can catch me here. Actually, the stream will go down for like 10 minutes, and I'll be back giving away a copy of Witcher 3. Whoop whoop, hype 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 giveaway.
Hype.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with this, but that's what's gonna happen next here. If anybody does care, we will give away a copy of that, and obviously playing it tomorrow, Golden Eagle Sunday, as always. And I'll see you guys then. And thank you so much for watching and being patient with us when we had some technical issues. And thank you, Classy, and thank you, WeBe.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Awesome. Bye.
Bye.